What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Tyler Creates YouTube channel. Hope you all are having a blessed day. My name's Tyler. Today we got a interesting video. If you haven't been over to the channel, I have a video of me reviving. It was a revival. It was pretty jacked up. A Craftsman corded electric chainsaw. I just cleaned it up. It was really disgusting. I got it in a lot. I purchased for $300, which is also over on the channel. You can go watch that. But I didn't consider that a real chainsaw, and a little while back, about a week ago, these two saws came up on Marketplace for a good price, $100 for both of them. In my opinion, it's a good deal, and for someone starting out, they're big saws. One of them's huge, so I'll grab them here real quick and show them to you. First saw we got. I'm new to chainsaws, I should preface this by saying. A little while, actually just last week, we had to cut some trees down during a windstorm, so I got to use a saw then. It was a small steel, I don't know what it was, something 225. But these are vintage saws. I believe it's Homelite or Homelite saw. I think it's Homelite. I don't know, I'll just say it. Homelite. We got a Homelite C-51 saw. This is a 77cc saw. It does not have a guard, manual oiler. It is a big saw. It weighs a lot. Can't remember how much this thing weighs. It's over 15 pounds. I think it's like 18, 19 pounds. It's a huge saw. So I don't know what I use this for. Obviously, I'd like to say always be careful with chainsaws, like mega careful. They're like the most dangerous thing. There's no screw ups with a chainsaw. If it makes contact with you and you do not have proper equipment, and even if you do have proper safety equipment, it's gonna be a bad day. So treat these things with super respect. So we got a Homelite C-51 77cc saw. It's got I think this is an Oregon bar. I can't tell. Does it say Oregon on it? It's worn, man. In Oregon, it does say Oregon, right? Oh, wait a minute, what does that say? I've not done anything to these saws. They do spin over. They won't start. Oh, it's the Homelite. It's the original Homelite bar. I wish it would say, dang, this thing's heavy. New something tip. I don't know what size this bar is. I'm aware that the teeth are sharp. I wish I knew what size it is. I'll have to grab a tape measure and see what size this is. For comparison, this is my hand, so it is definitely not a small saw. Again, I want to preface this. Treat chainsaws with like top level respect. Like, I'm not joking. They're very dangerous. They're only dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. And just make sure you look up how to use a chainsaw. You know, keep one arm stiff, make sure your legs aren't in the road, don't cut weird, stuff like that. The next saw we got is a much more manageable saw. I actually don't know what this is. It's got an Oregon bar on it, and it's got a weird, oh no, that's right. Wait, is it? It looks like it's missing a tooth, which is strange right here. I don't know what they got like a link right here, so it's missing. I don't know if that's a problem. We'll see when we fire it up. An Oregon bar. I do not know the size of this Oregon bar. It said this one's a little worse for wear. The sticker on it, both of them are just worn off. Okay, I found it right here. This is a Homelite XL-12 chainsaw. So definitely a smaller saw. I'll get them on the table for comparison. My hand, lot smaller of a saw. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here both of them are. The Homelite C-51 and the Homelite XL-12. XL-12. And this one does say on it, I would assume, C-51. You can see the difference in size, quite a dramatic difference. on the face here, you can tell that is about there. So that's like an extra 2 inches, but we're just gonna see if we can get these saws cleaned up and running. Honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it or not. This is my first time ever messing around with gas saws, so gas chainsaws. Owning my own, I've used them briefly, but I know that they're dangerous and to treat them with respect, and that's all you need to know really, is to treat them with the utmost respect and know what you're doing. So, and I've watched enough YouTube videos to see how people handle. I've watched actually quite a bit of YouTube videos on people handling them, but at the end of the day, I'm not in a YouTube video, I'm in real life. So we're gonna get these things on maybe a different workbench, and we'll get to tearing them apart. I'm really excited to see if this one runs, so we'll probably start with the big one first, and then we'll move on to the little guy. These are both manual oil saws, so and they're both dirty. The guy I purchased them from said that, I think he said when he bought them they both pull over, so they're a little, both of these I would start on the ground. Maybe this one not so much, this I'd definitely probably start on the ground. I don't know. So, and then this guy, this one's here. So, we'll get these things set up and dive in. Also, for those of you that watched my previous video of me cleaning this thing up, I figured I would just show you the size difference of them. This literally fits under this. It is a much bigger, much bigger, like, yeah, so it's beef, McBeef, so just figured I'd show you guys that. Okay, first thing we're gonna take off is the air cleaner. I already had this off. I already filled this thing with fuel and it did nothing. So take the air cleaner top off. Breathes from the sides, metal. It's pretty cool. No, I'm not gonna be doing any painting in this video or anything. Here we got the air cleaner. I will probably blow this out. It looks quite dirty. And in here we got the, I believe this is I heard, and I don't remember, it's a blank, Mikuni. I think it might be a Mikuni carb. My goal is to not take any gaskets off because I don't want to break any gaskets. That would suck. This fuel hose actually looks quite in good tact, in good shape up here. Let me take you guys off here so you can see. So there's a carb, so it draws from the back and from the sides. And you got your mixture high and low. I'm not quite sure what that means. I mean, I know carburetor stuff, like I've worked on truck carbs, lawnmower carburetors. I've never worked on an adjustable carb. This is your choke, and this right here is your mechanical oiler, which has a little arm that runs up and oils. This is your chain oil, oils your chain. And that's your so that's also looks like your idle right there, your idle set screw. Interesting. Genius. So I don't like that very much, man. You can really flex that thing. Holy smokes. Jiminy Christmas, dude. Am I going the right way? Oh my gosh. There we go. I was going the wrong way at first. Wow, that was still very tight. That's a pretty dirty saw. It doesn't look like someone's blown it out or anything. It's quite dirty. Oof, I don't want to drop that on the floor. Oh yes, greasy chainsaws. Got this plate here. I'm not sure what this plate's called. Maybe it's like a, I would assume its function is to disperse torque over the surface here. Go past and slide back, and then take the chain off. For anybody wondering, the chain says 27 on it, so I'm assuming this is a 27-inch bar. Yes, I did stick the chain in the dirt for the thumbnail. They're getting sharpened and cleaned, so. Take this Homelite bar off. Homelite. Homelite serial number is 044 5061. That's pretty cool. It's the original bar. Dang, this thing's heavy. This is so sick, dude. I love this kind of stuff. Like, I would assume, in fact, I know, loggers take care of their saws. Like, people that use these take care of them. People that don't use them very often, I don't think they take care of them, because excessive heat, excessive wear, excessive everything, like, not good. I mean, I don't know, maybe they don't, maybe they just disregard it, and who cares what's wrong, who cares. Okay, I need, which socket style is this, the big guy? So it's a 13/16 socket. This thing is full of gas, because I thought I'd get it to start. Ooh. Yeah, that plug looks like it's got some, looks like it's had some water in it, but it's not rusty, which is what you're worried about when it comes to water. The fuel might have had some water in it. You can't really tell on camera, but all in all, not a super bad plug. I've seen like way worse. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour this fuel out because I don't trust it. I don't remember if I put it in here or not, so. Well, I do say so. I've never seen green two-stroke fuel before, because this is a two-stroke. We'll throw that back on actually real quick. Oh man, there is lots of junk down in that tank. Holy smokes, dude, that tank is super dirty. That looks like a filter right there, though. Dang, that tank is dirty. Looks like a brand new filter. I'm gonna go set this fuel outside. I won't leave it outside, but it's just stinking the room up, so that's quite a bit of fuel. So if something ever is awry, I know what is in here. Because right now, I don't know what's in here. Actually, if I didn't know any better, oh, wait a minute. We will not be taking that apart. Stop. Okay, I'm glad I caught myself before I went ahead and took that out. This is how you separate the gas tank. So, definitely won't be doing that. What's on this side again? We got the silencer. We'll go ahead and take this quote-unquote silencer off. From what I've heard, this silencer doesn't do much. I've heard it's quite loud. Sorry if it's dark, everybody. The lighting in here is subpar. You know what I'll do? I got a light I can turn on to make it nice and bright. There we go. How's that for lighting? Can you all see now? Oh yes, you can definitely see. I'm about to get down on my knees here so I can work on this. I want to see. Oh yeah, it's definitely had water in it. it has had some agua ran through it. I'm gonna assume this silencer does nothing because it looks like it does absolutely nothing. I don't know if there's supposed to be media in here or something, but that does not do anything. Can you guys see in there? You can see the piston. Honestly, it doesn't look too bad in the camera. Where is it at, right? I'm looking at the rings, that's what I care about. I mean, it's dirty, quite dirty, but honestly, the piston looks pretty darn good, and so do the rings. I'll be darned, the rings actually have like no scoring on them. You don't want to blow like this, just food for thought. When you're blowing in a port, you don't want to blow in the middle of it. I try to blow on the outsides because it allows the air to, it's less chance of something going where it shouldn't go. Really is the reason for that. Dang, it's pulling on that hard. Maybe, how do I stop that? Okay. Came off, cool. Cool beans. Got 2 washers and some weird specialty king style nut. Set that there. Got our clutch assembly. Wow. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Look at that clutch assembly. Look at this. Watch this. Look at that. Holy smokes. What's weird is it's not worn, which means that's just super dirty. Well, shoot, I guess we'll blow it off. I'm gonna go blow this off camera because it's gonna be a mess. And I'll get back to you guys when I get this area blown off. Dang, I really wanted to take this off and wash it, but I don't trust that that's gonna take something small off, because I would assume that there's a bearing somewhere in here. So, not taking that off. That is not happening. Catch you guys in a second. Actually, everybody, really quick, I'm gonna go ahead and take these other components off so I can also wash all these other pieces here. My goal is to make this thing clean and get it as stripped down as I'm willing to without taking significant components off. So I'm not going to use a flathead. I'm going to use what I should be using, which is going to be probably, boy, that's quite tiny. Is that not even 3/8? Not even close. Okay. That's way smaller than I thought. Dang, dude, that's not 3/8. What is that then? Like, is that 5/16? It is 5/16. Okay. That is so gross. Holy smokes. It's a chainsaw, I guess it's meant to be used. Look at that. Well, the good thing is this will be much cleaner. And the other good thing is, at the end of the day, this is just bar oil and sawdust, so it's not like it's super harmful to the environment. The engine oil breaks down pretty quick, or bar cutting oil, and sawdust, well, you know, there's lots of sawdust in the environment. Wow, look at that. I blew the hose back in here and it did nothing. I stuck the hose end in here. It didn't do anything. Oh, there's a nut right there. Wonder if that takes this flywheel assembly off. Shoot, we'll go ahead and take it off. Can't be that big of an issue. ATF actually makes me react. I didn't film it, but when I did an ATF change on my truck and a filter change on the C6, I got it all over me because I wasn't prepared for how much fluid was going to come out. Boy, what a mistake that was. I had such a bad rash. So there's a little alignment pin, oh, and a crush washer, and it lines up with the hole. Cool stuff. We'll clean that off too. Is this just gonna be nice and come off? Okay, everybody. It's been a little bit since I recorded. This thing came off. I was able to get some. They're 1/4 20. These threads are. Don't use anything else. I almost stripped it out. Probably never heard someone say this before, but I just got done washing my chainsaw. Spark plug was in. Obviously made sure not to spray water directly in this. I actually sprayed it. I would set it like this and spray it down over it. A whole bunch of the paint came off. This paint wasn't in great shape. Just wasn't in great shape, but scrubbed it, wet it down with super clean. Also avoided the exhaust ports best I could and put the piston to where it was blocking the ports. And I did not spray it directly. Sprayed all this, sprayed the clutches. Everything's pretty clean. You can see it's all pretty clean compared to what it was. So you can see the C-51 is way more readable now. Carburetor is quite clean. Pays to have hot water and super clean. So I'm not going to set it back here anymore because that's disgusting. I'm going to set it down here. I'm going to wash everything else. The pulling case, the bar, the chain, all these covers. I'm going to wash all that, and then it's getting pretty late. We'll see if I can get this thing back together in time. I'd really like to start tonight, but I don't know. I'm not going to start these at the same time. I'm going to start them one at a time and make sure everything's good to go. So I'll get back to you guys whenever I can get back to you. Figured I'd do a little comparison for you guys just to show you how dirty this stuff is. So this is before, after. Pretty clean, pretty snazzy. There is a bearing in here. This is before, after. Another clean unit. Direct drive. Direct drive. And this is before. After. Pretty clean. Scratched the inside up with some 400 grit. There's like a mirror in there, so figured I might as well do that. Okay, everybody. We are back. It is the next day, and we are going to get this saw put back together. I want this thing together. Why do I want it together? I don't know, I just want it back together. Put these back. I would prefer it if it didn't get re-disgusting. Now you may be saying, hey, you should check for spark. This assembly, I don't know. I should check the points in here. This assembly honestly looks brand new. I don't know if you guys can see it. Yeah, you can. It is very clean. It's definitely had to be replaced because this saw I think is from the 80s. Somewhere around there, 80s, 70s. I ended up looking up. So this is a 77cc. That XL-12 is a 50cc. But regardless, this looks new, so I'm not going to worry about any of this in here. You know, on almost everything else, these always rust out, and this all looks pretty clean in here. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is all fine. And we will get back to reassembling it. That right there. Slap that on. Goes with the little pin deal, like so. I don't think there is anything back here. I think that is how that goes on there. Okay, I believe this actually went like, bloop. Does this go on here like this? No, it can't go on there like that. Oh, there we go. Yes, it does go on there like that. Sweet. I don't know if you're supposed to use a lot of grease or a little grease. I would assume you probably want to use more grease than less. So we will go ahead and use more grease than less grease, because less grease, bad things happen. Very bad things happen when you use less grease. You know, I just realized, how does this grab in here? So when you slide this on, you may be saying, you should have checked for spark while you're in there. Well, if I don't have any spark, we'll cross that good old road when we come to it. I'm not gonna we'll leave it open just to, whatever. I'm not gonna leave it open. Tighten these up. Obviously, I'm not stripping them out. I don't think this thing's steel. Might be I think it's cast aluminum, so you definitely would not want to do the strippy deal on the threads. That would be bad. You strip threads out, you're not going to have a good time. So we'll go ahead and flip it around. Oof, sharp. It got me. Okay, we're going to put this stuff on. Already run, so I'm not sure if this is supposed to be tight or loose, because this does ride against this. The clutch here rides on this bigger washer, so but this nut is a crush style nut, so real quick, everybody, I want to see what the inside of this one looks like, so I'm going to go ahead and take this cover off just to see the difference. Oh, so it's tight on that, so we'll tighten it just like that one, I guess. And these are, okay, I see how those sit. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. This one isn't near as dirty. You got the before filter. It's dirty. It's not, doesn't look like it's grease or oiled. It's pretty dry, but maybe it's got a little bit of oil in it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I had to step out of the shop. Other people started using it and playing music, so I just couldn't be in there. And I went ahead and got everything back together. Ended up wrapping that plug wire with a little bit of electrical tape just as like an initial shield, nothing super crazy, like 2 inches of electrical tape, and then I put that rubber grommet on the outside. just to minimize the chance of getting shocked. So I'm gonna make sure that if I need to, I can get out of the road. That's all just some junk. I'm gonna be able to see myself. Pretty simple, just stay away from the business end of the saw. We're gonna go ahead and pull our choke out. And I guess we'll see, I don't understand how that thing. Alrighty everyone, so the plug was wet. So we're gonna try to not foul it again. We'll see how it goes. Less gas or more gas? Alright everyone, I went ahead and turned the low side of the carburetor down or in because it's just flooding the carb out and I don't know why it's doing that. So I'm going to try to feed it less fuel momentarily to get it running and heated up maybe. Maybe get some stuff cleared out as well. So woo, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that sucks, I guess. Oh my gosh. It didn't rip it, it just separated, like pulled the knot out of it or something weird. Oh man. Just start for me, please. Is ear piercing loud.
Is it loud?
Did you?
No, I had these on because I knew.
My ears. Grandpa, that thing is obnoxious.
Did you see Grandpa's face? He was smiling.
Did you read about what all that stuff is?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to your thumb?
I don't know. Something in the battle.
What is that? Is that idle?
Yeah. It bogs pretty hard. It.
So you read about all the different adjustments?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. It wants a little more. I gotta get a Band-Aid.
What's all those other buttons?
Oh, hold on. Dang, I'm bleeding. I gotta turn my kill switch off. That's pushed in. Holy smoke. Alrighty everybody, it is the next day. I spent all yesterday yanking on that saw. I ended up pulling the carburetor off along with the plate and looking down the crankcase. Everything in there looked fine. I pulled the carburetor off and figured just look down in there. It doesn't seem like there's really that much, if any. There's a little bit of play in between the crank and the connecting rod. It's not a lot, and plus two-stroke stuff, the clearances have to be a little more, I do believe, for oil to be able to get in there. It's not something crazy, and the saw certainly doesn't sound like rod knocking or anything. So I found some things out. This bar is actually, so I thought the numbers on this chain, which were 27 on this Oregon chain, identified the length of the chain. It actually identifies the pitch and some other weird things, the rake, some other junk that I don't quite remember right now. I need to look it up. I need to get there's a little gauge thing you can get, or you can just look it up online. I tried my best to sharpen these with a round file this morning. This is my third chain I've sharpened, and I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of, the video I watched says to go flat, but I've been going at a 45 and going up through it, and it seems to get a pretty sharp edge on this leading edge here, which I do believe is where it cuts, is on this leading edge. So the chain, or the bar, is actually a 21.5-inch bar, so I don't know what the number actually is. Maybe, I don't know what, it says to round up, so if it was an 18-inch bar it'd be 20. I don't know. This is 21.5? Yeah, 20, just under 21 and an eighth it looks, or 21, yeah, 21 and a fourth. Some of the things I looked up: the high and low circuit on this carb, I took the carburetor off and blew it out. The high and low circuit, I had them adjusted rich, thankfully. We did cut with it yesterday a little bit, and it cuts okay. I think sharpening these will help a lot. They're pretty unevenly sharpened, and they didn't look like they'd been sharpened in a long time. They're basically like flat, so now I cut them at a much steeper angle. Kind of like I don't know if you could relate it, chainsaw guys, I really don't know what I'm talking about, but I would assume that you want the cutting face of these teeth to be more like a knife shape rather than like a blunt edge, and that's what they were. They were more like, if you're looking at the camera, they were more like that, and I cut them more like that. So with the file, so you got your high and your low. I didn't realize that you're supposed to tune saws with a tachometer. I didn't realize that you're supposed to tune saws with a tachometer. I didn't even know that was a thing. So you tune the carburetor by RPM of the saw, and if you go too high in the RPM range, when you're at full throttle, the way that happens is the saw is too lean. It'll seize it up and destroy the saw, basically. So always go rich, in my opinion. Rather foul plugs and other components and then seize your saw up and be very unhappy. So I got these at, shoot, I forgot this morning. So you got your high and your low. Your low controls your idle and I believe off idle, and then your high controls your upper end RPM, your max RPM. I got both of them. I couldn't find really anywhere online where it talks about like a good overall setting to have, like if you just got a saw and you want to turn it to something and use it. Any chainsaw guys out there, maybe let me know. I got these both set to I got them set to about 1.5, maybe a little over 1.5. I do want to run the saw rich. Fourth, a little over a fourth on my high. Sorry, yeah, a little over a fourth. A little bit over, and then half, one. So half, one, and then I got that fourth as well. So I got them about 1 1/4. I'm gonna run them just a little bit more rich. I'd rather have them at like 1 and upper end of 1 1/2 just to be safe. As far as I can tell, the saw was doing what is called force cycling at max RPM, and what that is the saw gets enough fuel to where it doesn't bog, but it sounds like a 4-cycle engine, and you don't want it to be too low. What'll happen when the RPM is too low is it'll really rip the RPM. It'll be very over wound out. So and at low idle it'll surge if it's too lean, and then also at low idle it'll bog if it's too rich. So you just want to find a happy medium. Obviously always err on the side of being a little more rich with a 2-stroke. You do not want to run lean. You have to remember that unlike a 4-stroke engine, this thing is being oiled by gasoline oil mix in the crankcase, and it's not in an oil bath. So always err on the side of being a little rich. You know, you don't want to be super rich. You'll foul plugs within like 10 minutes. But I believe if everything goes according to plan this morning, this sucker should 1 crank, 2 crank, I don't know. After we ran it yesterday at one pull, and it started right up with no choke. So we'll see. So I wasn't recording there accidentally. It took a couple pulls to get it started here this morning, but just kill switch on. I did have to pull my choke out, but it's it may be getting low on fuel. My arm's getting tired. I'm done holding this thing. We'll cut wood a little later with it. It is a very loud saw for now. It is running a little rich, but for now we're going to move on to the other XL-12. So that thing is no joke. That is a heavy saw. It's no joke, and it needs to be treated with respect. And I am doing so to the best of my ability. I'm aware that I don't have the correct PPE type stuff like chaps right now. Chaps, helmet, I have ear protection, steel toe boots, but I'm not out in the woods logging, so, and that's not an excuse to not have that kind of stuff. I just never really owned a chainsaw until now, so we're gonna head back inside and work on the other saw. The sun came out. I'm sore. This arm's sore. I kind of hurt it yesterday yanking. I forgot. I ended up having to replace the spark plug on that one. Got a new spark plug. I think the part number replacement for the old plug. The old plug was a Champion J-6J, and the new plug was like a Champion J6C or something weird. So, yeah, we'll go in and start on the other one. My arm is sore just from holding that thing. It sounds like it's 4-cycling pretty good when you rev it out. I don't have an ear quite yet for chainsaw noise, but I can tell when I for sure know when a 2-stroke's not happy, when it's too high in the RPM range, and that sounds pretty good. Actually sounds a little boggy, and it does smoke a little bit, but for me, just starting off learning, I would rather have it smoke a little bit and be a little rich. So, and I can always adjust it. It's got an adjustable carburetor. And it's shutting off. I don't know why that is. Maybe I'm running it a little rich. I have the idle back down pretty low, and yeah. So one side note with the idle thing: if you have your idle too high, the chain will spin, and it's super dangerous. So when you're adjusting a saw, one thing I know for sure is you want to bring your idle down to where the chain does not spin like at all. There's no chance that it could spin while idling. Because obviously if you set a saw down and the chain's spinning and you trip and fall while you're screwing around, you're gonna have a really, really bad time. So we're gonna get in and start working on the other saw. Alright everybody, I'm actually gonna work on out here because all of a sudden it's a super nice day. There was some fog this morning, but it is no longer foggy. So got this Homelite XL-12. I'm assuming this is the pretty early version because I know at some point this saw turns red. This saw is definitely in worse shape. All the decals are off of it. The only way I was able to figure out that it was an XL-12 was the identification plate number on it. This one, unlike the X50 or C-51, the oiler's here on the C-51. On this, the oiler is right here. If I'm blown out, I'm sorry guys, there's really nothing I can do about that. This is more manageable for me. The other one's fine. I screwed my arm up, man, yanking. Gosh, it's one thing I'm not a huge fan of, is having to yank. So this one is different. This is the idle. This is the idle here, and it looks like your high and your low circuit are going to be down here. I'll give you guys a close up here in a little bit. I did take the spark plug out. This spark plug is a different style. This spark plug is a shorty, and this one just so happens to be a Bosch. A Bosch R1, and this is R45 or 145. Go ahead and take the muffler silencer, not really an extension of the exhaust port, does not silence anything, off. Trust me, the C-51 is very, very loud. Like, everyone for probably a mile can hear it. It is a very loud saw. Take that off. We'll just go ahead and take this unit off. We'll wash everything just like I did the C-51. Take this inner guy off. If you're ever putting these back on, keep in mind on both the C-51 and this, and probably every other saw, this slot here is for the oiling port, so you don't want to block that or else you won't get chain oil. I'm thinking about giving these grips a matte finish with some like 800 grit just because they're slick. I need to wrap something on these, something that I can, it's just not very comfy. Very dirty. This one is, in this area, is a lot more dirty. We got your kill switch disconnect here. Go ahead and pull that off. This guy has like your traditional lawnmower coil. On the other coil, I wasn't able to check the gap because it's in behind the flywheel. On this one, the flywheel is just flat. Oh, we need to get this fuel out of here first. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour this fuel out. I gotta get something to pour it in. I don't like that sound. What is the problem here? It's this guy that's stuck, isn't it? There we go. Looks like we got two little weights here with springs on them. So we'll go ahead and I'd like to get behind this guy, so we'll go ahead and pop these two off. There it went. You guys were recording there. Cool beans. So this is extremely hot now, of course. So that was on there pretty good. Of course, heat always works, and a little bit harder hit always works as well. Also be careful, the tip of this thing may be hot. Probably will be. And that for sure is hot. Come off the magnet. There we go. Yeah, I sure am glad I took that off there. That was the other washer. Boy, this sucker's getting lighter by the second. So, as you can see, just lots of okay, so that right there is a set of points. They look completely fine. What this will allow me to do though is give it a nice clean. It won't run hot. It won't be weird. Another tip from what I've read, it's also the same deal on engines. If you run a saw lean, it will run hot. So if you're like, man, why is my saw running so hot? It's either improper cooling or you got it too lean. Man, it is like built up. That is bad. Yikes, man. Look at that. No cooling right in here, basically. So the side of the piston was probably getting nice and toasty. I don't know how you're supposed to get the plug through because it definitely does not come through there. A lot more careful. So I'm gonna get the hot water turned on, wash this sucker down, and get back to you guys. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. You guys have already seen me take this off on the other one, so I'll go ahead and just pop this off on this one, and I'll get back to you guys when everything's cleaned up. Here's a look at the saw dirty, just so y'all can see it. I hope it's focusing. I'm gonna get back to you guys when it's clean. Alright everyone, as you can see, I got the saw cleaned up. I did get a little water in the cylinder head, but I blew it out. I don't think it should be a problem. So I got everything cleaned off. I did try my best, obviously, to avoid getting water in places that didn't need to go. We're just going to begin reassembly, and got this piece clean as well. Just hot water, man. Doesn't seem to do anything, so I don't know. Wash in here like I was able to do before. It's quite hard to get in there, but I did get the back pretty clean. This guy, the paint on these definitely needs to be redone, and I'll say it again, if you want me to do a full restoration on these where I paint them, they probably won't get painted blue. I'll probably paint them my own custom color and use quality paint, probably not spray paint. Drop a like and subscribe. I think that'd be cool. I like doing stuff my own way. I did spray this down with WD-40, so this is the cover for the engine. Alrighty everyone, the saw is back together. Chain, I'm not sure if that's how loose it should be, maybe a little tighter. Seems like that's about right there. Got everything back together, got the shields inside here, got 2 bolts on, everything here is good. I noticed, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, this plate has been cracked there and back here. It's actually cracked in both spots. Got the air cleaner on. Man, my arm's already tired. The chain's not sharp on this. Everything is back together. One thing I wanted to note that's cool is this little, I believe this is the oiler right here. So when you pump it, it pumps oil through this little brass tube right there. So that's pretty cool. There's your chain oil. I filled both of them up with gas. It's steel specification gas, like present day. I don't know what the mix is. It's 2.6 ounces of oil to 1 gallon, so I believe that's what steel weed eaters call for, but I can always tune this a little rich to compensate for all that. I have it rich now as well, so I'm going to double check actually these jets real quick just to remember, and then we should be good to fire this thing up. Alrighty everybody, right here. I actually want to stand a little ways back and bring this up just a little bit. There we go. Alright, so kill switch on. I can see here there's a clear little fuel line, but we don't have fuel there yet, so. Oh. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, screws all the way off. We'll go right about there. We'll see how that does. It also acts like it's running a little fat, so I got it at 1.5 turns. I'll go to like 1 1/8 turns out. Hope you guys can see me down here. Oh, you kind of can. I was a little concerned that the water I got in the engine might screw it up, but blowing it out, it seems fine, so. might be a little fat. Let's see if that fixed it. About this, there's a reason it does this. Maybe getting too much fuel up top. Let me turn this off real quick and reset it. Because it's a smaller displacement, it's probably going to want less fuel than what I had the C-51 at. Sorry about that, everybody. My camera died, or battery filled up. Doing that. It's almost like an air bleed's blocked or something weird. That's interesting. Usually the saws die when they do that when they're too rich, or when the air bleed is blocked. So the way it works is when it's coming off idle, I believe, at least on a 2150 carburetor for a V8, it's got an air bleed that helps control the decel, I believe, of the idle down to idle. So I don't know if something in this is blocked. I know on the C-51, the carburetor had two little ports, I believe. They both said low and high, and I think those are the bleeds. So I'm wondering if there's something in here maybe blocked. Alright, everybody, lighting's a little weird again. My face is probably like half blacked out, but I'll face this way. So we got both the saws running here. I am aware that after doing some research of those saws, if you use regular oil, take the equivalent of a 16:1 back in the day oil to fuel ratio for a two-stroke, which is, those things would smoke, would be smoking bad, I would assume. So I put some 50:1 in there, realized that the 50:1 was too thin, but then I realized that I mixed it with some much darker fuel that was already in the machines. One of them was dark green and the other one was a darker blue. And then just to be safe, I added a little bit of 10W30 straight into the fuel tank, just a little bit. I don't know how many ounces, maybe half an ounce or an ounce, but it goes a long way. It's probably half an ounce, 2.5 to half an ounce, 0.25 to 0.5 of an ounce, whatever that is. So I would rather run them a little rich. I sharpened both the chains. I went back and resharpened the big chain because I did it wrong. I think I did it wrong, so I resharpened it. Cut some wood, but I'm gonna end this YouTube video here. I'm gonna cut through this guy. I'll probably cut some off the end here. This is seasoned oak. It's been out here for, oh, I don't know. This piece has been out here probably minimum 3 years, probably more like, I don't know, 5. The log is 12 and, we'll say 12 and a half, a little over 12 and a half, but 12 and a half inch log. So we got the big guy. Big guy, I don't know if it's supposed to cut better. I've tried tuning it out here. I just was screwing around with it. It doesn't like pushing. You push and it locks up, and not the motor, the saw just, it won't work through the cut. And I've tried tuning it back and forth. I've tried giving it less fuel. I have it about an 1/8 to a 1/4 of a turn above where it starts to rev out. So it's 4-stroking, but it just, I think those saws don't like to be pushed on. I think they're just kind of meant to hog material and not really be like pushed on. And the XL-12, the 50cc saw, it does pretty good. They're both very loud. They don't have mufflers, so they scream. I gotta wear earplugs. They're like very loud saws. Like, very, the loudest piece of machinery I've ever heard in terms of like, maybe, you know, some big V8 cars I think I've heard maybe louder. It's loud. So without further ado, we're going to cut these with both of them, the 50cc and the 70cc, and then I will outro the YouTube video. Alrighty everybody, so we got the, are you guys going to be able to see that? You're not going to be able to see that at all because I am cutting into the sunshine. I am aware that I'm not wearing any of the proper protection. You guys look like you can see that, right? Bring it down a little bit. So I'm just gonna go right down through here with this saw. Like I said, so it's pretty decent cut. Like I said, I am not wearing any of the proper protection. I don't have the money for proper protection right now, so is what it is. I don't have the money. So, I got my earmuffs on. We're gonna fire this up and cut through this thing. Hopefully not get my hair caught in the tree above me. So we're just gonna go right through here. Wow, that is some hard wood, ladies and gentlemen. Holy smokes, the wood is cool, which is a good thing. When you start burning through a cut, it seems like that's kind of a bad thing. You don't want your cut burning, because that means your saw's getting hot. And I've seen a lot of guys oil before the cut, but the weird thing is I'm assuming all the oil wears off in the cut, so you want to oil through the cut. I don't know. That was definitely hard. That was the most I've tested. I don't know how long that was. I'll see if I can get maybe a start to finish. And I was having to push, stalled it a couple times, of course, but I mean, this wood is, this is a little flathead. And I mean, I barely, like, I can't even scratch. I can barely scratch it. It's so hard. Like I can't scratch that. Now we will do the big guy. This should be interesting. I don't know how this will go, but we'll go for it. Again, this is going to be a pretty big cut. We're going up to like a nodule here, so we've surpassed 12 and we were at 13 1/4. So I'd say we were probably past 12 on that one cut with the small saw too. Well, it was starting fine just a second ago. Sounds like I got the idle set a little low. Maybe it needs to be a little fatter. We'll just turn the idle up. That's the easiest thing to do. We're getting a little smoke from somewhere. Maybe it wants more fuel. Dang it, man. This saw is acting weird. Maybe I had it a little too fat. I don't quite know there. Wow, that's an awesome piece of wood. I may have to like do something with that. That's really cool. Put a light down in there and like epoxy this in. Hey, I want to see a YouTube video on that. That'd be kind of a cool video. Look at that. Look at that. That is... Do I dare say it's beautiful? It cut way better that time. I'm sure you could actually even see it in the video. It cut a lot better. Now, granted, that may be because this was not this. I mean, look at the difference. The difference there. But, I mean, our chips are pretty... These are from both saws, but I was examining the chips to try to see how my blade sharpening was. And it seems like for first time, the chips are pretty good. They maintain that kind of that square shape almost, and they're pretty thick. I was talking to my dad. They look like they're, if the measurement would be maybe 32nd to 64th, somewhere around in there. But you can see that saw bogs, and I don't know why. It's like it can't. I don't know if I am feeding it too much fuel. What do I got it set at here? Let me look here real quick for y'all. So I got my high side at 1 1/8. And my low side, you don't really have to worry about low side. I got it a little bit turned in as well, but I'll bring you guys in here and show you how hard this wood is, just to give you an idea, because I guess you could say it's not kind of a fair comparison. You have a rookie cutting like probably some of the hardest wood you could cut, seasoned white oak, that's 13 inches in, you know, diameter one way. So take you guys off the tripod. Well, I'll tell y'all what, these saws have beat me up, man. I'm gonna have to get into more shape. These saws are big, both of them are heavy, and for being the first saws I've ever owned, so real saws. So you can see, I mean, you can tell, like, here is my screwdriver for comparison. Like, I'm pressing hard. I mean, look at the color of my fingers, white, and I'm barely, I mean, that's like that is some hard wood. And actually, come to think of it, the wood wasn't hot. I don't see any burning either. 16ths, I mean, not a whole lot. Again, like, very hard wood. I don't know, you saw guys out there, you can probably tell by how these lines run and all kinds of stuff. I mean, the blades are pretty sharp, so, I mean, I can't even get that to stick in the wood sideways, like, not even close. I can get it to stick out there just fine. Let me see if I can get you guys a shot that's off of the teeth here that I cut, or that I tried sharpening. So at first, you can see I really screwed up here and sharpened, like, let's see. I sharpened like this up through the cut. You can see, so that's flat there pretty much. I was sharpening up through the cut like this. Well, I didn't realize that you're really supposed to sharpen more sideways, and I was also sharpening pretty steep. I was sharpening like, probably like that. I changed it to be more like that on this one. This is the one I redid. So, may have destroyed the chain, but you can see the shot there. Come on, focus on it. There we go. Let me get back a little ways. There. So, I'd say my sharpening was also pretty consistent on this. It is, I mean, it's pretty darn sharp. So, I don't know if you can over oil these. I feel like I would weigh, when you're cutting, I would weigh on like a heavier oil, like rather than running a drier chain. And then we got the XL-12, XL-12. And this one, I did this from, I also saw on here, I was looking up a video, that little line on top of the cutting edge is the depth you're supposed to cut at. There we go. That little line there is the angle you cut at. So I cut this one, in my opinion, I cut it a lot better than its previous, than when I first sharpened it. So, I don't know. Again, this cut is this one, and that cut is that one. But you guys can see that, I hope. Goodness gracious. Whew. I am not used to such crazy activities. Alrighty, well, ladies and gentlemen, I am tired. These saws have made my arms sore just from like holding them, and I may look twiggy, but I kind of am. I work on a farm, so I got that more dense muscle, but not, you know, nothing crazy. But these saws are quite serious. I'm super happy I got them for the price I did. I paid $100 for both of these saws in non-running condition. you've seen the whole video of me stripping them down, washing them with water. This one accidentally got water in the piston area, but I just blew it out and it cranked over fine. This one has a weird sound. This has some special, so this one does slip a teeny bit. Sometimes you'll like pull and it won't hook. But this one has a weight swing out style pull cord, and this one has some special bearing style, and the bearings are definitely like wore out or something. It wasn't working because I put thick grease in it, like CV axle type grease, but it works on like bearings swinging out and doing something, so I had to wash out with brake cleaner and then spray WD-40 in there. Maybe I should put some 10W30 in there. The bearings sound wore out, which I doubt they've ever been replaced, and who knows when this saw was. I think this saw is old. I think the website I went on says this saw started manufacturing in 64 and ended in 67, and this saw started in 66 and ended in 88. This saw, if I had to guess, this saw and this saw are in the pretty similar time era. Maybe not, but I know at some point I'm pretty sure this guy turned red. And if I had to guess, because the casting quality of this is somewhat poor, but it's the same design as this guy, so if I had to guess, this is probably a late 60s saw as well. If you do want to see me do a restoration video on these, a full restoration video, drop a like, share the video, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I probably won't paint them the original Homelite colors. I think maybe a white, all white and a red would be kind of cool. Obviously I would maintain the logos and everything, but I like doing stuff custom. Sure, the original colors are awesome. It's cool to keep stuff original, but I don't know, man, what's the point of owning it if you can't make it your own? So other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was a crazy video. These saws are quite out of my league, but as long as you know the simple fact of treat a saw with the utmost respect out of any tool you could ever use, and know what to look out for when you're using them, kick back, don't let it swing into your leg, don't push it so hard that when you're in the bottom of your cut you go into the dirt and lock it up, dull your chain, things like that. Don't swing it around. Just, if there's a tool that you need to be the most careful with, it is a chainsaw. They will take no prisoners. They are very dangerous. So and I say that not wearing anything, but I may not look like it in the camera. I'm pretty cautious. I really try to be cautious, because, you know, the last thing I want, of course, is stuff getting cut off or getting severely severed. So super blessed that I got these saws. Yeah, other than that, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like. Thanks for watching this far, if you have. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. May the Lord watch over you and bless you in this crazy, crazy world of ours right now. But other than that, my name's Tyler. Thank you for watching. Peace out. God bless. Oh my gosh, the video's over. Holy smokes, my back hurts.